opportunity to test and see who is the one who is going to lead.
Okay. We need to slip into a quick break right now. When we come back, we will continue our discussion, Mr. Dhananjay Kumar, because this used to be the garden city. As you travel across the streets of Bangalore, it's now been turned into a garbage city.
You are right.
There used to be relatively open roads. If you compare with Delhi, if you compare with Ahmedabad, where the road infrastructure has actually become better, in Bangalore, it's a complete mess. Who's to blame for the lack of water? Also for poor civic infrastructure? We will ask our panelists that question when we come back on the other side of a quick break. You're watching The Right to Be Heard election special being brought to you from Bangalore. Stay with us. We're back in a moment. You're watching The Right to Be Heard election special. Bangalore used to be one of the country's most livable cities. Now it is one of the country's most unlivable cities. Who's to blame for turning Bangalore into a civic nightmare? I want to ask this question first to Mazumdar-Shaw.
Rahul, the government's the last 10 years has turned Bangalore into a civic nightmare. Bangalore, the richest city in per capita terms in India. It has the largest number of expats in India. The largest number of PhDs in India is India's only global city. Look at the garbage problem. For the last 10 years, a garbage mafia has been ruling, and all of them have been in government, and garbage clearance has not happened. The landfill is a mess, and even now if you go to Bangalore, the debris across the streets in Bangalore, our footpaths are all broken, the roads are all broken, and we can't walk on the footpaths and people die. And who has done it? It's deteriorated the last 10 years, last 3 years have been terrible. The second situation in Bangalore is the water situation. We know the Kaveri problem. A new scheme has been done by the BJP government, it's been implemented, but they've not drawn the pipelines in certain areas where the waters have to go. Our lakes have been systematically destroyed by the land mafia, where all of them are responsible for taking over the land. And second, and the third, Bangalore has been deprived of resources. We don't have enough money to build our entire road network. We need a road network go from one place to another in 60 minutes. They are not invested enough. They put up flyovers in places where they want to make money. And a flyover which has to be done in 12 months takes 36 months. And they don't care. And everywhere we see this traffic snarls. Our metro, one of the political parties opposed the metro. They want to build a light rail system. They didn't want a metro. And the metro had to be brought with great difficulty. If the metro had come 5 years back, Bangalore would have been a much better city. And lastly, law and order. We wanted better policing. Now they close the pubs at 11 o'clock. Why do they close the pubs at 11 o'clock?
Crazy.
Because they don't have enough policemen. They don't have enough policemen. Close the pub at 11 o'clock. This is a city which works 24/7. It's a city of young people. Why do you deprive them of the right to go out and maybe have a drink or whatever it is?
It leads to binge drinking. Everybody at 10:30 is ordering 4 packs. It doesn't serve the purpose at all. Nirmala Sitharaman, let's deal with these issues one by one. Let's look at garbage. It is shameful, madam, that there is garbage piled up all along the streets of Bangalore. This is the single biggest spectacular failure of your government.
Well,
it wasn't like this before.
I think garbage particularly has been a definite trying task. There's no way in which I'm going to say, oh, we've done a good job. We certainly could have done better.
So why didn't you do it? What stopped you?
Nothing has stopped us. We've tried, but we could have done better is what I'm telling you.
And Rahul, there are two deputy chief ministers right now, not just one chief minister, two deputy chief ministers, who's also a home minister, and still we get the new title of garbage city. That's the contribution.
But it's
of the
really
BJP
shameful,
government.
Harish Bijur, for Bangalore now, from garden city to be called garbage city.
You know, Rahul, this is a price cities pay when they grow up, and Bangalore is a grown-up city. Unfortunately, when cities grow up, the governance structures also need to grow up with cities. Unfortunately, that is the gap. The city has grown up, issues have grown up, but the governance structure, system, way to manage hasn't grown
Because
up.
there was no plan, Nirmala Sitharaman. Everyone was so focused on their caste loyalties, on keeping the party afloat, on Operation Kamla, that nobody really bothered to take care of Bangalore city.
Well, I don't think that's true, Rahul, because funds do get allocated. There are different layers of administration when you're looking at a metropolitan mega city. So, it is not as if there is no focus on it. We could have done better is a clear admission from my side. But that doesn't mean that because there was something else, there was no structure at all. There is a structure. But there are inherent built-in problems which we are struggling to, get out of. As Mohandas rightly said, it's not a problem which has happened overnight. It has been piling up, in the sense, not the junk, but the systemic problem.
Have they tried hard enough, Mazumdar-Shaw?
The systemic problem, the control of mafia, these are not things which happen overnight. It has got to be concerted attempt with the cooperation of the citizens. Only then can it be.
Mazumdar-Shaw, has the government tried
I
hard
think
enough?
Bangalore is highly underinvested and there hasn't been strong political will to really look at the garbage mafia in the way it should have been done. I think there are many issues in Bangalore which could have been done with strong political will. And I think we have reached an inflection point where citizens are saying enough is enough. Now we want to demand of our government better governance and better effectiveness. I think that's why we want to really do something about it. Because I really believe without taking that kind of action and that kind of approach, you are not going to see anything different. We need new thinking, new leadership and a new way forward.
But
Rahul, let us not forget, when my leader Yediyurappa was the chief minister, there was no problem of garbage. After he left the chair, Mohandas knows it very well. The first 3 years, there was no problem. Okay, it's only on account of lack of vision. You know, the lease period of the dumping ground was over.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Dhananjay Kumar,
as rightly said by...
I'm sorry, we were creating huge land hills, not fills,
That's why.
during this time.
See,
And that
that's
has
exactly
caused
why,
the problem.
Kiran, I was telling, lack of vision, the lease period of the dumping ground was over. They could not renew it on account of political reasons.
Okay, I want to hear from
And you know, Yediyurappa
one by
had
one,
a
otherwise it just
Salem.
becomes a cockfight. Doesn't serve any purpose. One by one, please.
To make study of...
What Mohandas-Pai said and what Dhananjay Kumar said, they have proved themselves. What he said in the last 10 years, only last 3 years are worst. And they are saying that Mr. S.N. Krishna's 5-year rule was fantastic. They must understand that it was Mr. Deve Gowda's rule. The chief minister, when he built the Bangalore, when he invited the IT industry, which has given the fruits in the next 5 years, during Krishna's
Then is make a claim, that is why he was
Kumaraswamy
not the Prime Minister of the country.
When Mr. Kumaraswamy was
But we
chief
could not
minister,
improve.
when Mr. Kumaraswamy was chief minister for 2 years, that has continued
these
for the 3 years.
These pot shots actually lighten the debate. Rajiv Gowda, we have a real serious problem. And the problem is this. Just one by one. One by one. Let there be one moderator, please.
He was the Prime Minister who gave the metro in Delhi. But nobody talks it.
But not for Bangalore.
You asked,
Not for Bangalore.
You asked E.S.R. Subramaniam,
Now,
who was his
Mr.
cabinet secretary.
Mohandas, he wants Deve Gowda always in Delhi, not in Bangalore.
That
That's
Delhi
the
metro
problem.
file was in a dustbin. You file an RTI and get
You made that point, but there's a-
who allocated the fund to
No, but there is a- there
It
is
was
a-
Mr. Deve Gowda. But he is not a fair in complex. He wears dhoti. He can't wear a tie and suit. That's why you are painting him that he is anti-development. We are proud that our leader is for the poor, he is for the farmer, he is for the common man in Bangalore. He wants every common man to have a drinking water in Bangalore. He has not given the license to loot.
Danish, one second.
Infrastructure.
You know, these theatrics are very good. But how many farmers are there in Bangalore? I don't know what you're talking about. There is a big
Everybody has a
problem.
route.
There is a big
Every
problem.
common man has a route from the rural. Every common man. There are few who may be 1,000 crores.
Okay, you made that point. No, one second. There is a real...
working in their companies.
Rajiv Gowda. Okay, Danish Ali. Calm down. There is a real problem. And the problem is this, that parties have failed to lay out a vision for the city. The city is growing at a stupendous rate and nobody knows what to do because everybody is busy, either making money on mines or infrastructure, real estate. No one's thinking of what happens to the city, Rajiv Gowda.
Well, the city has grown way beyond people's expectations. But if you go back to the period of S.M. Krishna again, when the Congress gave a 5-year government, you had many of these people who were part of various task forces that really brought in, ushered in, ideas from the best minds, and we really saw tremendous growth. It's after that, as soon as we had the coalition government, that our same former Prime Minister basically decided to put a stop to any emphasis on Bangalore, and that really came in the way. But the issue of garbage is a very complicated issue. There is this whole garbage mafia. Even if I, as a citizen, separate my garbage at home, right, into various organic and other, the garbage mafia will actually mix it all up because they get paid by weight. You know,
Okay, Mohandas, I want to respond to that. Yes.
Rahul, what IAS officer has said about the land grabbing?
Rahul,
You go in the detail.
No, this can't be about who starts shouting the loudest. This can't be about who starts shouting the loudest. 1 second. You please don't monopolize the debate. Give others an opportunity. Danish Ali, let's hear from. Yes, make your point. One by one.
All of them saying they're helpless before solving the garbage problem in Bangalore. How can they rule the state and solve the problems of 6 crore people if they can't solve the cleaning the city? They can't keep the city clean. What kind of government is this? Whether it's a Krishna government or any government, what kind of government is this?
That's a very important
keep
point.
The city clean.
This city gives 62% of Karnataka's GDP and about 66% of the taxes, and we deserve better leadership. Having said that, I'll give you one factoid again. There was a meeting recently of all the corporators where Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Rajya Sabha MP, proposed there should be greater transparency in the functioning of the BBMP. And out of the 198 corporators, they said, what will happen to us then? And because, for the first time, 1 out of 2 corporators is a real estate developer or a real estate broker.
Yes.
So if you have corporators of that kind, number one, there's a structural issue as well. The structural issue is Bangalore spends 12 to 15 rupees per capita per annum. 12 to 15 rupees per capita per annum for garbage collection. Obviously, your garbage won't be collected. Every city in the country, with the exception of perhaps Mumbai, underspends on the budget. And Karnataka, Bangalore underspends by 76%. The norm, if adjusted, should be 948 rupees per capita per annum. We spend about 300. So quite obviously, there is a deterioration in civic services, and it is not. There's a structural problem and there's a leadership problem. One point to the gentleman from JDS. I did not for a moment say I don't believe the distribution of dishonesty or honesty is distributed unequally between political parties. So the land grabbing, all the political parties are equally and onerously involved.
Harish,
When
did you?
Mr. Kumaraswamy was the Chief Minister, he instituted a legislative committee.
Let's try and use this opportunity.
Which has gone into the land.
1 second, Danish Ali, I will not allow this. Danish Ali, you cannot interject like this. Danish Ali, it cannot be about who shouts the loudest. You must follow my rules, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. I want to use this also to help people decide who they wish to vote for. So I'm going to give about a minute and a half to all our 4 political parties to lay out their vision for the next 5 years. If you were to be elected to power, madam, what would your party promise to the city of Bangalore in terms of improving civic infrastructure, all the problems that we've discussed, what will you do to ease them, to solve them? Nirmala Sitharaman goes
Not just Bangalore. For Karnataka, the manifesto of BJP which has been released has very clearly explained the kind of things that we would do.
A lot of this was in the previous manifesto also, didn't get delivered. Doesn't give people
No,
much
absolutely
hope
not.
and
I don't agree with you giving a sweeping statement like that. Point on point I can answer about what was mentioned in the last manifesto and what is mentioned now as to how much has been achieved. In fact, since the points have come earlier, I would like to say this. The coalition government with JDS...
Why don't you answer my question?
In the process of answering your question, I'd like to say this. Would you allow me?
Yes, please.
In the coalition government with the JDS, the ministries and the departments which worked well were very clearly those in which the BJP ministers were there. And that is why, after the coalition collapsed, when the election happened again, BJP got elected because the people of Karnataka realized that the intentions and the commitment to development was much better with the BJP. And the point, therefore, when Dhananjay ji was speaking, and also when the Congress and the JDS representative was speaking, it is just not the individuals. The party which is open and committed to governance, good governance, is the one which can deliver with good leaders.
There's a lot
also.
of nitpicking and pot shots.
No,
but
no.
About 1 minute. Hear me out. Hear me out. Here's the question that you must answer. The question is, we're in Bangalore. We're seeing all around the city. The city is in a mess. I'd like to know from you, madam, do you have a vision? What will you do to improve the city? If you just come to the point.
This is necessary, Rahul. I don't think you can dissect the political argument and say, come to my question, answer it and finish it off. These are points which are
You have an answer to that question.
I have an answer to that question. I've also got answers for those false allegations which have been thrown at us. Because parties make a difference together with the leaders. You can't just say, my leader did this, irrespective of the fact that he belonged to a party.
Bangalore, yes.
I had started by saying that there was a legislation which we had designed to make people's participation and better governance as the main agenda for Bangalore, which could have really been passed if only we had the time, we could have done it. And we will be committed to
5 years.
No, 5 years together with starting the regular infrastructure building and so on. So it is not as if you come day one and do it when your layers are not ready to take a reform like that. The layers have been laid in terms of better infrastructure. Yes, on garbage there is an issue which we would definitely be able to address, and even now I would appeal to the people.
Answer the specific question.
Specific is the legislation that I have referred to you, where with the legislation which gives more power to the local municipal authorities and also with people's participation, a better managed mega city of Bangalore
What will you do
would
about
emerge.
water?
Water also has a plan in it, and in the way in which BJP has been talking about water resources, linking of local rivers, local ponds, we will solve the problem of Bangalore.
Gauri Lankesh
water
doesn't
issues.
believe that's possible. Why is that?
Belief is a different thing, because
Let
it's an
her
argument
respond.
which has got
I'll
to be
get
put
one of
forward.
our experts to respond to all of what you say.
No,
Gauri
no, no.
Lankesh.
As Pai said, they're just all talk. They have had 5 years, they haven't done anything. And you're talking about the image of Bangalore or image of Karnataka, I would just like to point out, and you mentioned Bihar in passing, but please let's not insult Bihar. Okay, Karnataka, we have performed under BJP. Karnataka's image has sort of really gone very high. Bihar did not have 3 ministers watching blue film in the assembly. Bihar did not have a chief minister or 3 or 4 ministers go to jail on corruption charges. Bihar did not have an MLA who was caught having an extramarital relationship for which he was given a minister's post. Bihar did not have a minister accused of rape, molestation of a woman, okay, and go to jail for that. Okay, we have such good, and Bihar did not have goons attacking girls in pubs. Bihar did not have some fascists coming and attacking
this extra affection
people.
for Bihar and not looking at what is happening in Karnataka.
No, please,
coming
madam,
from a
we were
senior
sitting silent when you were talking, so please, I would like to finish what I was
You're still
saying.
in government.
I would
Nitish
like
hasn't
to
left
finish
yet.
what I
Don't
was
forget.
saying.
Nitish hasn't left yet.
Bihar did not have boys going and
Rajiv Gowda,
attacking people having birthday parties. Okay?
We will have a discussion
Okay.
on the Nitish model of This is a whole different debate.
I
want to hear
just take a minute on this.
Yes.
When I say extra affection for Bihar, it's not to say my government, the alliance government, NDA government.
You didn't forget it's still your government, right?
I'm sorry, I don't even want to take it seriously. But the arguments which are being given by a senior journalist here are not taking into consideration the points that I've mentioned about what we've done here. I think you should balance arguments and then yes.
Okay,
you have
Rajiv
right
Gowda,
to
what's your
that.
plan
The
for
one
Bangalore?
image of
I want one by
Bangalore.
one, one by one.
And another thing you said, you have not given tickets to corrupt people. Okay, Krishnaiah Shetty has been accused of corruption. He's been jailed, and instead of giving him a ticket, BJP offers his wife a ticket, and when she
Are
says
you
no,
saying the wife is also equally corrupt? Are you alleging that?
Not yet.
Are you
That's
denying a woman cannot be taken
That's
by
just quickly
No,
given
no.
sidekick.
Are you saying?
Come on.
Are you saying?
This is not
No,
the
it's a
front of
no,
the back door.
One by one. This is getting derailed.
No,
I'm sorry.
Rahul,
I'm sorry. One
this
second.
is an allegation on which I'll definitely like to respond. Being a woman and being also a woman who's charging this, are we suggesting therefore that wives, just because they happen to be wives of somebody who's alleged of a particular kind, could not be given ticket?
I'm
sorry,
not
that's-
saying that.
Okay,
I'm not
okay,
saying that.
let's
You
move
don't
forward.
get a ticket.
Gauri Lankesh, let's move forward.
Because she's Krishnaiah Shetty's wife.
Let's move forward. One second. बैठ जाइए as Virat Kumar says in Parliament. बैठ जाइए.
That's your commitment to
I
fighting
want to hear
corruption.
from Rajiv Gowda. Does the Congress have a plan for Bangalore? What is that?
So Congress is advertising a greater Bangalore in our manifesto. Basically, one of the themes is to take the commuter rail and try and see whether we can enhance the kind of infrastructure that's already there and see whether development can spread across, not just in the core areas but also outside. We're also going to look at the whole governance structure, the big Bangalore that's currently in existence, and see whether we may have to actually go back into closer, smaller, more regional arrangements. That's another thing that we're going to look at.
How will you clean the city?
The city will be cleaned when the garbage mafia is tackled.
How will you tackle the garbage?
The garbage mafia will tackle when we come to power.
Do you have a plan? What's your plan? Otherwise, like Nirmala Sitharaman, 5 years later, you will say, oh, we didn't know what the plan was. It took us 5 years to come up with a plan, so we didn't get a chance.
The garbage...
Please answer the question. It's a very serious
The
question.
garbage mafia issue requires political clout, political will to essentially tackle. The garbage mafia. And essentially you also need citizen participation in terms of source segregation.
Mohandas, what do you
Both
make
these
of
have to
the
happen
plan
at
the
the same
Congress has
time.
laid out?
Here,
Does it sound believable?
I think the corporators belonging to all these parties are hand in glove with the mafia, and they support the legislators in the assembly. So it's not going to work. The only way it will work if the court steps in. The court has stepped in yesterday, set up a committee to work, and they'll make them work.
That's how illegal mining stopped?
That's how illegal mining stopped, and that's how the 3G was tackled. Everything was tackled because the court stepped in, and we will go back to the court because the court is the only savior because they're failing. They're not going to tackle it because there's big money.
So let the courts run this country. We don't need a government. Let's not have an election at all. I want to hear from Danish Ali.
Or as the court said, supersede the body and give it over to the permanent executive.
Yes.
Danish Ali.
A permanent executive without political responsibility.
Without executive, without political accountability,
And
has
also without
performed even in
accountability.
BJP government.
Okay. Danish Ali, your plan
In fact, they
for
perform
Bangalore.
better.
The our first plan is that we are going to try to provide water, the basic necessity for the common man in Bangalore. Number one. Number two.
Where will you get it from? They're asking.
Number two.
How? No, how?
We give it. Once we are given the power here in Karnataka, once we are given, if you are going to bless us, we will bring the water from Kaveri. We will bring the water from Kaveri. We will not allow the Karnataka share to go to Tamil Nadu. We will not be sitting as a mute spectator here. Number two, this. As far as the garbage issue is concerned, when Mr. Kumaraswamy was the chief minister, there was no such issue. No such issue. And we will see to it, the Bangalore gets its pride back.
Okay.
And what the officer has said, that the corporators and the Bangalore legislators and the land mafia, garbage mafia is in hand in glove.
Okay.
JDS has only one out of 28 assembly seats. JDS has had only one MLA.
So you don't care much about Bangalore.
JDS had only a dozen of corporators. If people of Bangalore, if they give out this misconception that JDS is anti-Bangalore, this thing, if they are going to bless us, we will prove that the Bangalore will get its pride
Harish
back.
Vijur, what do you think of the JDS system?
First of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. Yediyurappa, Mr. Kumaranna, and a wealth of leaders from the Congress, and of course Mr. Shettar, for creating the current situation that we have in Bangalore. This is the situation which has been created by a successive set of far-sighted thinkers, bureaucrats, governance structures going awry. Now, let's come back to basics. This is 2018. We are talking about April 2018. We are talking about 2013. Now, we are talking of an era when the basic prime election issue today is garbage. What in tarnation are we talking about? We are talking about the Silicon Valley of India. We are talking about the youngest city in India. 63% of the population of this city is below the age of 25. Only 54% of the population of India is below the age of 25. We are the youngest city, a very well-educated city, largest number of expatriates, and we are talking lowest common denominator issue.
It's quite shameful. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic.
And I think no thanks to anyone.
Dhananjay Kumar.
For providing drinking water, we have thought of effective rain harvesting. That is the only solution immediately where you can go and find water, enough water for drinking purposes in Bangalore. Then we have thought of, we have promised that given the chance, we will add on 5,000 megawatt of new power so that Bangalore city also can have 24-hour quality power. We have one, my leader was the CM, we have added on 3,000 megawatt of power. And in future, we have promised we will add on 5,000 megawatt. Then for the road transport, we have said the rapid transport system we are going to introduce, and we are thinking of even preponing the commissioning of the metro rail.
Okay.
We will provide enough money.
Does the
we find money.
Arouse any confidence?
You know something? Just listening to all four representatives of the parties today, it is very, very disappointing that not one of them has a clear agenda for Bangalore, not a clear vision for Bangalore. And we as BPAC have actually set an agenda for Bangalore, and we want every one of these parties to be aligned with our agenda for Bangalore. As a small group of citizens, if we have such clarity of vision for where we want to take Bangalore, we need to see every one of them thinking along those lines.
You heard from all the four representatives.
Government will be for the entire state.
At the end of the day, people will form their own.
Bangalore, sir, is about Karnataka's prosperity.
People will form their own
Bangalore
judgments.
is about
No doubt we
Karnataka's
cannot neglect
prosperity. If you
Bangalore.
choke Bangalore, Karnataka
We
will die.
cannot neglect Bangalore, but the government should be for the entire state.
Nobody denies that.
Nobody denies
That's what.
that. All I'm saying
Don't
is...
forget rest of the state.
Mr. Dhananjay
You know,
Kumar,
that's good
Bangalore is
political
inclusive.
speak.
All I'm
But
saying-
Bangalore
don't
is
deny
inclusive.
the fact that Bangalore needs to be invested and developed.
I fully agree that.
And
Okay.
I
please
fully
respect
agree.
the 33% number. 33% of people in Karnataka are urban folk.
Okay. On the right to be heard election special, you've heard from the four representatives of the four major parties. People will decide whose vision, whose agenda they want to vote for, or whose agenda they dislike the most, and therefore bring in the next best or next worst alternative. For all of you, for taking out the time and joining us for the right to be heard election special, thank you very much. We leave it now to the wisdom of the great Indian voter to decide whom he wants to vote in next. Thank you very much for joining us for this program. Thank you.
Thanks.